What's going on, everybody? Rob Doster here from the Field of 68. And today we're going to bring you another episode in our NBA Draft Prospect Profile series. These are going to be dropping throughout May and throughout June, a couple a day. So if you do like this content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and do hit that like button. Anything that you can do to interact with these videos, it really does help the channel. It helps more people like you find this content. And since I have you here, make sure you check out our Instagram and TikTok pages. We are going to be pumping out more unique content over there throughout the spring and the summer heading into the 2022-23 college basketball season. Like, for example, did you know that Penny Hardaway was shot when he was in college? I didn't know that. You can find that story right now live on our TikTok and Instagram pages. The links for those are in the description below. So without further ado, let's get into another Field of 68 NBA Draft Prospect Profile. Welcome back to another episode of the Field of 68's 2022 NBA Draft Prospect Profiles. My name is Rob Dosser. I have Terrence Oglesby here with me today, and we are going to be breaking down the game of Tennessee point guard, the freshman Kennedy Chandler. He's coming off a year where he averaged 13.9 points, 4.7 assists, a couple boards, and shot 38% from three, while also averaging 2.2 steals per game. He was terrific down the stretch of the season. And T.O., I think you can make the argument by the end of the year, he might have been the best pure point guard in all of college basketball.
Well, he's certainly one of them. I mean, he checks a lot of boxes. You want elite speed, he's got that. You want elite quickness with the basketball, he's got that. What does he not have? I think he's pushing 5'11". And a lot of people have him listed at 6 foot or 6'1". They're all lying to you, Rob, but he's not very big. And in today's NBA, that's going to hurt you some because he's a guy that can create his own shot. But at the same time, he's an excellent passer. It's just a matter of, hey, are you going to be able to make some of these passes over the top of some of these big guys? Do I think he's going to figure it out? Sure. Do I think he's a long time NBA player with the right fit initially and with the right opportunity? He could be. I think the way today's game is being played, size is going to kill you. And the fact that he wasn't the primary ball handler at all times for Tennessee, because Vescovi took over that ball a lot. They had different guys bringing it up the point, and he was playing off the ball some. I think he's a very good player. I think size hurts him, and he's just been sliding down draft boards, I think in large part because of that size. But still, I think he's a very good basketball player. I think some of his comparisons to Chris Paul are a little bit premature and a little bit disrespectful to the point guard. Let's call it what it is. Chris Paul is a top 2 or 3 point guard that has ever touched a basketball. Now, to just throw that comparison out as casually as some people have, I think is putting a lot of pressure on Kennedy Chandler. And I think it's unfair to Chris Paul. So that's like saying, hey, he's going to be the next Michael Jordan. I'm not sure that's fair. So that's one thing. But Kennedy Chandler, because of his end-to-end speed, because of his quickness, because he shot the ball at a pretty decent clip, most of which came off the dribble from three at 38%, poses a lot of things that could be very, very valuable to an NBA franchise. Could he be a guy that benefits greatly from coming back for another year? I think he could, because I think if you look at Rick Barnes' point guards that he's had over the years, TJ Ford, DJ Augustine, a lot of these different names that he's coached, Terrell McIntyre, who a lot of people don't know, European legend. Go look the man up. He's pretty good too. Their sophomore year jumps have been significant. Kennedy Chandler could be that guy, but at the same time, a lot of the things that he does well are a lot of things that he's valued for at the NBA level. Size is going to get him though, moving forward.
So if you could just take away all of like the listings, right? Let's take the roster where it says height and weight, crumple that up, throw it out the window, right? Pretend that his size doesn't exist. I think everything about Kennedy Chandler's game is exactly what you want out of a point guard heading into the next level, heading into the NBA. I think that his ability to read defenses coming off of ball screens is very high level. I think that by the time the end of the season came around, he was an absolute pest defensively at the point guard spot. I think the reason why Tennessee, you can make an argument in the month of February and heading into March that Tennessee was the best team in the SEC that included Kentucky, that included Auburn, and that included Arkansas. And I think so much of that had to do with everything that Kennedy Chandler represented. I got some stats here. Over the last 15 games of the season, he shot 46% from three. His assisted turnover rate went down. I think his speed allows him to get into the lane. It creates problems for you. We see it with Ja Morant, right? The level of speed that he has creates problems because nobody can stay in front of him. Nobody. Um, and I think if you could just look at what he does on the court, he does everything you want a point guard to do. The problem is he's like 5'11" on a good day, man. Like he's listed at 6'1", and I do not believe that he is 6'1". He's listed at 175 pounds, and that's like listing me at 280 pounds, right? Like it's not. He's too small. And if you look at what point guards are today, it's very rare that you find one that is under like 6'3". Even John Morant looks tiny out there. He looks like a child playing with grown men, and he's 6'3", a buck 80,
Mhm.
6'3", and probably the best, most explosive point guard in all of the NBA right now. And as much as I love Kennedy Chandler, I just cannot get past the fact that he's only 5'11". I'm never going to be able to. It's always going to be a major concern, and it's why I think his ceiling is as a backup point guard at the next level, a change of pace guy. I can't see you turning over the keys of an entire organization to someone that's 5'11".
Yeah, there's something to be said there. And even Chris Paul, who a lot of people have compared him to, is how tall is Chris? 6'2"?
Chris is like 6 foot 6'1", but
Yeah, I mean, but he's like a big, strong 6'6".
And let's put it out there. Chris Paul is like Kevin Durant. You mentioned this, is like Giannis, is like LeBron James. He is the caliber of player that you cannot compare people to. There is no next Chris Paul. There's never going to be a next Chris Paul. Chris Paul is in a tier of his own, even though, he can't get out of the second round of the playoffs ever.
Yeah, well, it's a subtle dig there. I like that. If I'm looking for a guy that I can pretty much immediately compare him to, I played against not a young man, but a person that was really, really good. He was really, really elite as far as end-to-end speed, and he was right around the same size. And Ty Lawson, that quarterbacked North Carolina to a national championship, somebody who's going to create for others, somebody who has elite speed. I feel like he could be that guy. Another guy too, he could be more of a pass-first Kemba because of his immediate area quickness. Not only is he super fast, but he's also really, really quick to where he can get downhill. The only problem is Kemba thrives by shooting over the top, not necessarily getting by and then making reads. Kennedy Chandler is somebody who's going to get by and make reads. And at that size, it's going to hurt you at the next level. A lot of people say, well, size doesn't matter. In the NBA, size matters. It matters because there's arms and there's length everywhere. He's going to have to finish. And at 5'11", 6 feet, whatever it may be, finishing around the rim is going to be an issue from the beginning of his career all the way until it ends.
Here's my biggest thing about the size, right? It is the ability to make the passes that pick and roll defenses give you, right? And one of those biggest ones is when teams are playing drop coverage, which is what basically every NBA team is doing these days. You're going to have essentially what that means is you got to make a decision with the weak side defender. Is he going to be guarding the 3-point guy in the corner? Or is he going to be helping out on covering the roll man? It's called the tagger, right? And the best point guards in the NBA, the best pick and roll players, are able to make that live dribble, one-handed pass from one wing to the opposite corner, right? Luka Doncic is one of the best in the world at making this pass. That's why he is such a nightmare to guard, because he's always going to hit you in the hands in the shooting pocket, and it's going to be a 3-point shooter in the corner. We saw Dorian Finney-Smith hit 19 threes the other night as Dallas won a game against Phoenix doing that.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with that comparison, just that one, because I feel like because Luka is big and he's not so fast, he has to be able to make that pass.
Well, the biggest thing is that's the pass right there that you got.
But I don't know that Kennedy Chandler's ever going to need to make that pass because he's so fast. So like, what 5-man is going to be able to keep him in front if you're able to get that screen out there far enough? And if he's able to shoot 38.5% or 40% from three coming off ball screens, then like they're going to have to come up a little bit, and that elite quickness is going to be able to get past. It's just a matter of once he gets in there. Once he gets in there, that's where the problem's going to be.
All right, yeah, but then you're also switching, and I don't think he's a guy that's going to be able to finish run. Like he can't play that way. I think you want him to try to drive to the rim, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he's also going to be able to get past that line of defense in order to create a help if he's able to finish quickly. Like that's going to be the big issue. That's where the size comes in.
The bottom line is this: I don't think that you can be a starting point guard in the NBA at 5'11". I just don't think that it's going to be something that is able to happen. I hope he proves me wrong, because I love the kid's game. Everyone that I've talked to about him raves about him as a person, just a good kid. So I want good things to happen for him. it's like drafting a 6'5" center, right? It just kind of it is what it is. So hopefully it works out well for him.
Is he the David Roddy of the first round
See,
kind of deal then?
I,
Well, here's the thing too. I think the Ty Lawson comparison is because I think because of his speed, he had some success even when the game was changing. Now he had his off the court, whatever. He could probably still be playing, but he had some things. But I think because of that elite quickness, he's going to be able to carve a role and then play. It's just a matter of, hey, could you wait another year, improve your stats even more, and then sneak up? That's kind of where my concern is for Kennedy Chandler.
So I hear you. And here's the issue with comparing him to Ty Lawson or comparing him to Raymond Felton or comparing him to TJ Ford is that we're talking about guys that played almost 2 decades ago.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And it's this, that's it. Can you in the NBA in 2023 play with a point guard that is 5'11"? I mean, look at what happens anytime campaign's on the floor, right? All you do is you switch until he's on the matchup that you want and you just attack him. If you watch the Suns play, that's what happens every time that Cameron Payne's out there.
That's actually a good one right there. I like that.
That's why that is my single biggest concern with Kennedy Chandler. It's the size defensively and the ability to be able to create those passes. But listen, this has been the breakdown of Kennedy Chandler, who might actually be the best true point guard in this year's NBA draft class. To follow more of the Field of 68's 2022 NBA draft prospect profiles, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We have about 45 of these coming out throughout the month of May and the month of